welcome to our talking point tonight. Who should be taking responsibility then for the Dantewada massacre? This on a day when the Home Minister had offered to resign. Let's go straight across to the Congress's spokesperson Abhishek Singhvi, Congress MP of the Rajya Sabha. Also with us, CPM leader Mohammad Salim. Remember, it's the left which has targeted the Home Minister. First to you, Mr. Abhishek Singhvi. It's all very well to take, as the Home Minister says, he's taken moral responsibility. But who takes legal responsibility? At the end of the day, who's going to be really held accountable for the fact that we lost 76 of our best Jawans?
Rajiv, I think the phrase moral responsibility is not new. It is part of our parliamentary and political lexicon. It was, among other occasions, invoked and is known to as a precedent for Lal Bahadur Shastri's actions, for Madhavrao Scindia's actions. We all understand that neither Lal Bahadur Shastri nor Madhavrao Scindia was directly, legally, constitutionally or otherwise responsible for the air crash or the train crash. But moral responsibility simply means that he's prepared to resign, he's not shirking, he's owning up to the fact that this is his job.
Sir, but who is accountable?
Not even Mr.
Who is accountable? Mr. Abhishek, who is accountable? At the end of the day, the CRPF chief will remain the same. The Chhattisgarh CM is the same. The Home Minister and the government apparatus remains the same.
I can't say about the Chhattisgarh CM, but I can certainly say that this government, the UPA government, is accountable. We don't run away from the fact that we have to have responsibility. And I speak as a collectivity known as the government, not about an individual. But just tell me, not even the worst detractors of the UPA or of Mr. Chidambaram will suggest that not the best was being tried. If you start actually having, as you put it, constitutional responsibility and legal responsibility, every time the Maoists do this with this object, they know that they will create chaos in government. Okay. People will start leaving because you claim legal responsibility. Okay. But equally, it doesn't mean, look, Mr. Chidambaram and we and the government have been trying. Something went horribly wrong. But these forces have achieved success many times. They have achieved a setback this time, but they've achieved success.
And several states,
we have to, of course, look and rectify the errors. We have to look at the operational errors. There must have been, and rectify them. We have to have better training. But to suggest that you just throw out everything, and one more thing, I don't agree, whosoever has said it, with a blanket statement or a sweeping statement, and I don't think it was meant like that, that all our CRPF forces are untrained to protect themselves or to protect other people in jungles. That's too sweeping a statement.
The statement about the 62nd Battalion very specifically, I think, came from the Army Chief. But let's not get away from the issue. Mohammad Salim, would you agree with that? The Home Minister has resigned after all, after the Shilda massacre, after what we saw in Lalgarh. The Home Minister, in fact, suggested that the West Bengal Chief Minister was to take responsibility. We didn't see any resignations coming out of the government there.
It's not a question of passing the buck. This is what we responded when he made this statement initially. And each time the militants and terror they strike, and we know what is the phase we are passing through, that means the whole government will be shaking, and then the media will start a trial, and then the changes will be there. So this is what the militants and the terrorists they intend to do. It's a challenge the whole nation, the whole country should collectively face, and it's a joint operation by the state government and central government. Neither we blame the Chhattisgarh government or West Bengal government or Jharkhand government, neither we blame CRPF. We should stop blame game here.
That's very interesting, Mohammad Salim, because Mohammad Salim, after the incident in Dantewada, it's the left which has targeted Mr. Chidambaram. Because Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Chidambaram spoke out against the West Bengal Chief Minister, you thought you wanted to pay him back in his own coin, you targeted him. Do you think this is the right time for engaging in a political blame game?
No, Rajiv. Before this Dantewada incident took place, I held the press conference on behalf of the CPM in West Bengal, and we said it's not a question of blame game. We welcome Mr. Chidambaram because it's a joint operation, and it's a joint responsibility. We should not pass the buck. We should not use this Americanized proverb from this table. This was the complaint, and politicians should not use these words to blame each other. And this is now what we are saying, the same thing. We are not blaming Mr. Chidambaram squarely. We are not blaming the CRPF. And the army should also know, the media should also know, the CRPF should also know. It's not a question of blaming each other. The state police blame the central force and central force blame the military and military blame the CRPF. We should stop it. This is another thing. Each time this such thing happens, we start blaming each other and there is a knee-jerk response. We should stop this somewhat.
Fine. Abhishek Singhvi, what Mohammad Salim and the left has been saying for a few days now is it's really this language that seems to have triggered off more such violence. The Home Minister speaking about not just about the buck staying or the buck stopping with various people, but also talking about Naxals as cowards, speaking about the last drop of blood being used in this war. Do you think that the war of words, if you like, has really gone too far now?
I believe that when we start talking of such matters of form, we totally stray away from the substance, and indeed we trivialize what is otherwise a very important debate. It doesn't matter, each person has a different way of speaking. Each person has a different choice of words. Are we here today going to be debating that? The sense of what he's conveying is a commitment and a sincerity to do something about a menace. And he's saying that, look, these people have to be first dealt with sternly, and ultimately if they abjure violence, we'll deal with them otherwise.